I know that you're also, now you've described a bit how you've worked in developing the AI that can detect defects and suggests repairs, but you're also working on development of that too,
Right.
incorporating design. And here to talk to you about that is Anna Lidström, who is Sweden's first doctor in Remake. That's something.
Wow.
Welcome to the stage, Anna.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
We do things together now. We look on colors, look on other pieces of the garment.
Yes, I mean,
Can you show us some?
the problem, but also the possibilities. We're working with already existing products. They have their, of course, they're already shaped, and they also have different kinds of conditions and defaults, and yeah. One can look at them as problems, but there could also be possibilities in this, and that's also what we have been looking in our project of how can we detect the defaults and how can that feed into what kind of redesign that could be created on top of that or based on that. And one approach is vamping, where you sort of you don't alter or change the overall construction of a garment, but you work more on the surface of things. I mean, you could add a print to cover a stain, or you can change some parts.
Fold. We talked about the
Yeah,
color.
you can fold. I mean, you can do minor adjustments, but still keep the sweater as a sweater, which is also something that you can do with different techniques, like what we have here in the facility. Like you can do embroidery or print to add value, but also change the design and make it work again for a second life or third or so. So vamping is more like looking at the garment as a canvas, and you make design decisions, and you work on it as it is. And we have another perspective, which is the next slide, which is sampling. Which is more taking the garments apart in different ways. And here are some examples. For instance, we have this Patagonia jacket. And I mean, this is today done manually. And it's a lot of, I mean, working with this type of resource, it's so much into detecting defaults and possibilities within each material. And with this AI and our system here, you can speed up that process, so I could put more emphasis on working with the design decisions. So for instance, this jacket here, that's done manually, the sorting and making the mix and match, the design decisions, I think that we could improve that through our system.
Yeah, and also when they come with vast volume, as we talked about, sometimes it makes sense to make those repairs, but let's say for half of the garments, maybe it doesn't. But maybe we can use part of the garment as a piece, not to rip it into cotton and kind of spin the thread, but to actually use the garment, the fabric.
Yeah, and there, I as a designer can have, I know what I have in stock, and I can, for instance, like this checked shirt that we had, that, I mean, I want to keep it within checks and within this blue color scheme. So then I could also search for that within my own stock, but it's based also on these secondhand garments. So I see it really much as a tool for design to both source the materials, but also then to redesign the materials.
To suggest design, exactly, because how much time would you spend normally to make, when you make the artistic manual human design?
I think especially the biggest part is in the searching of the material and looking for possibilities.
Right.
And we have several designers now in Sweden working with this, and they know what they search for. But it's, I think this could benefit their business because they have a different scope, aesthetic scope that they can benchmark with this.
And when we go into the tons of garments, so we need something quicker also for the design. So we talk about some sketch tool or some, let's say, preliminary design tool where then the human eye can kind of give it a final touch.
Yeah. And we also had workshops now with many professional designers in Sweden, both having their own enterprise, but also working more within sustainability field and Remake, but also working more professionally with the regular way of designing things. So we had really fruitful workshops on how to use this kind of process and tools in the facility in order to generate new
So
styles.
how will we teach the AI? How will it work? Well, we will apply, basically it's a reinforcement learning kind of approach. We see the garment as we said, as a sentence or as a sequence of words. Each word is a piece of fabric. So you put them in some order, and then we just train the computer how to put together those sentences or those pieces of textile.
Yeah, and I think it's really a combination of having that sequence help as a sketch tool, but still the design know-how of how it actually will come together in a nice way. Because in the end, we want it to be a sellable product,
Yes,
or
indeed.
a collection for that sake.
And with the sketch tool, we can I suppose many of you use the ChatGPT. Then you have a parameter temperature between 0 and 1. So if you give it a 1, it's going to be very, let's say, emotionally expressive. It's kind of trying different approaches. If you have the 0, it's really dry. That's juridisk svenska. It's really dry. So you have a kind of a tool where you can judge it a little bit or move it. And we could have the same here.
Yes.
Now we have a shop. They want expressive, interesting clothing. So then we can draw up increase the temperature, right?
Yeah, and on the other hand, also, if we have a brand that are specifically working with one type of garment or expression, they also can source that material quite easily instead of manually also going through each bin.
Yeah.
That's what we do today.
So this is an ongoing work. So basically, things that garments that doesn't fit for a simple, let's say, repair or some simpler remake action, then we may use some fabric, and then we redesign. So then we use your design techniques, and we try to build an AI to sketch us some preliminary design, right?
So we can work with design on all levels.
So it's really the hottest of design. But it's also the hottest of AI. It's reinforcement learning. It's also
and remember,
very
it's very friendly.
Yes, kind and friendly. Always, we want to wear the clothes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.